Welcome to the VetFarm Network podcast, where we connect military veterans, caregivers, and those working in agriculture. Each episode shares tools, resources, and real world insights to support your farm or homestead. Before we begin, here's two upcoming events to keep on your radar. The 12th Annual Salute to Veterans Charity Golf Outing is happening Friday, May 9th, and it's hosted by the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs. This event benefits Addie's Orchard, a nonprofit focused on teaching veterans beekeeping and sustainable agricultural skills. You can find out more at addiesorchard.org. Registration is available through the IDVA website. We're also preparing for the Multi-State Veteran Farmer Conference this July in Shipshewana, Indiana. Veterans and caregivers from Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and Illinois will gather for a day of learning, conversation, and community. Event details are available at vetsinfarming.com. If you haven't joined Vets in Farming, we encourage you to do so. Membership is free and open to all veterans, military families, and caregivers interested in farming or homesteading. You'll find out more information today at vetsinfarming.com. Today's guest is Charley, who served in the Army for 28 years. He's been involved in multiple veteran-focused agricultural initiatives and brings valuable insight into what it takes to build a successful transition from military life to working the land. Let's get started. Well, welcome, Charley. Can you introduce yourself and share a little bit more about your journey from Army aviation to running Jordan Farms?
Yes, so thanks for having me here. Yeah, it was a long, different journey, I would say. I kind of knew I wanted to get into agriculture at a young age, and then the Army came into my life at the ripe old age of 18, and decided after a few years that I wanted to stick around a little while. And after 28 plus years, I decided to call it quits. But during that time, I found that I really liked agriculture, and just kind of gravitated towards it really more and more as I got older. And about 2001 is when I decided I wanted to purchase a small little thing of land and a little house right outside the Fort Campbell, Kentucky area, and and I haven't left since. So I had decided to get into it. Had a long career here at Fort Campbell, and then also my farm just kind of flourished and went from horses to all kinds of other stuff, and it finally ended up with flowers now. So, which is definitely my passion. Now over about 7 years now, I've been growing them, and I've really found be my thing, and I really enjoy it. And also another passion of that kind of came along with it was veterans to agriculture. So, and that's kind of how I'm here now.
So, as a veteran who successfully has transitioned into farming, what skills or values from your military experience have translated well into the life of agriculture and running a business?
I've been asked that. Actually, it's a question I've been asked quite a bit. And it's what I find is just the initiative, and just our desire to go forward and do things, and not just sit idly back. And that was kind of the entrepreneur spirit that kind of came over me. And I always wanted to have my own business. I got busted for selling fireballs when I was in third grade, because I knew I wanted to own my own my own entrepreneurship, and it just kind of flourished once I got into doing flowers. I was like, okay, this could be something. And I kind of used my experience, my networking experience that I had coming out of the military. I was in operations also. I did lots of things working with other agencies, and I kind of enjoyed the networking, enjoyed building these teams and this network, and it kind of really helped me along. And then I just wanted to be able to have my own thing. I wanted to be my own boss, and not that I was tired of working for, the man as they speak, but I wanted to own my own thing and do my own thing. And I found agriculture and agribusiness as being an outlet that I could, use my creativity, my initiative. I found a new purpose, motivation, and direction within agriculture, to help me, kind of guide me as I transition from, military side to not only just a civilian, but also a citizen. So, yeah.
And then one thing I think is really interesting about your farming experience and that we've experienced as a farm family is you have changed your enterprises. What you aren't locked into what you necessarily started in, and I think that that's a freeing realization that people can have that they can try something, and if it's not working, they can change gears. How has that looked, sort of, with your farm? Starting with you did beef, I think, earlier on.
Yeah. I've done quite a bit of different things. I mean, it kind of honestly it translated from how my basically my life has gone. When I was in the military, I had lots of different careers, different jobs. I was in the army. I changed my MOS, our military occupational skill. I changed that like 4 or 5 times. So I went and had all kinds of different jobs. I took the whole be all you could be thing pretty seriously when I joined, and then it just really translated throughout my life and into my farming life, and that I started out like I said with horses, small ruminants, large ruminants, sheep, goats, cattle, poultry. We had all kinds of different things. Only thing I haven't had out here is probably emus. It's the only thing, and llamas, and alpacas. But everything else, it kind of taught me different things about agribusiness itself and then agriculture. I felt that, I was more well-rounded to be able to not only one, for myself, but also to help other people, getting their business started. And then, kind of sinking in, I was going real full-time into freezer beef. But then just so happens, a tomato season that went bad turned into a flower, season that's now 7 years going strong. So it all those things kind of fell into place, to kind of get me to where I'm at now, comfortable in my, and what I, got, but also, knowing that, I have to always be, diversifying myself and doing, different things, not only just to stay relevant within the agribusiness world, but, we're all selling flowers, but, we gotta sell our flowers a certain way so we can get that business. So it takes some science in that and just some determination to not only just sit where you're at and be comfortable with it, but to always try to, I guess would like to call it improve your foxhole as you go forward. So yeah.
And you're involved in the exciting new Tennessee Ag Vols program. Could you tell our listeners a little bit more about what's that about?
Yeah, so this is a grant program. We focus on transitioning or assisting veterans and transitioning service members into agriculture. We offer internships, workshops, and also educational opportunities here in the state of Tennessee. So we're a 3-year program based off the Ag Vets grant from the USDA. And our that's our main job. My portion of it is the mentorship or the internship coordinator. We have an outreach coordinator, also another veteran, Bryce Myers, that works that side of it. And then we have a team from the University of Tennessee, Tennessee Agribility Project, also involved in it, in the Center for Profitable Agriculture. And also we have some other entities that are part of it, like the Farmer Veteran Coalition of Tennessee. And that's our main thing, is to just get more visibility for veterans within the state, and also the transitioning service members coming out of Fort Campbell, that, hey, there's some opportunities available for you in the agricultural world. And it's really cool. My portion itself, my focus is right now in our first year is transitioning service members coming out of Fort Campbell. And I do briefings twice a month there, and basically advertising that we have 8 participating host organizations and farms, to be able to go and spend within your last 6 months in the military. You can spend 8 weeks on one of those hosts, farms and or organizations, either industry. We also have educational opportunities. And you can do 8 weeks of internship with them, and learn all about their business. I'm one of the farms on it. I've been part of a program similar to this for about 3 years now. I've had 3 interns out at the farm, and it's such a great opportunity for the transition service members not only to get a kind of sense of what an ag business or agriculture operation is and does, but also it gives them time to get their transition in out of the military kind of set for them. For me personally, I allow, them to get their VA appointments finished, get all their other stuff that they need to get done before they transition out, as far as the base requirements at Fort Campbell. And this allows kind of a more gradual transition, from military out to be a citizen. And then with the agricultural portion, they may not go on to be a farmer. That's not our main goal, but our main really is to give them some experience, give them a choice that, hey, this is something other than what they may offer you. And then if they want to take it on, fantastic. If not, who knows, maybe later on they'll want to take on the task of being a farmer. It really runs the gamut as far as the interns that we've actually had come through here. So, but it's been great. Again, we just started up in January. We're working hard to get as many people knowledge about this. Going to conferences like the Pick Tennessee conference in last February. And then we also had a workshop that was planned, but unfortunately we got rained out due to the weather here locally in Clarksville. But we do have it rescheduled for the May time period. But again, we're just working hard to get this out. I'm constantly looking for additional farms or organizations, industry to be internship opportunities. Right now, I'm more concentrated on 50 statute miles or 50 miles outside of the Fort Campbell area. But as we're growing in years 2 and 3, we're going to offer this up for other veterans throughout the state, east, middle, and west areas. So we're constantly moving along right now, and or hopefully we can get some more interest going in it. So yeah.
That's awesome. And so do you guys
Mhm.
have a website or social media that people could follow to find out?
Yeah, so yeah, it's you can look it up for just Tennessee Ag Vols, AGVOLVOLS on the social media. It's the website itself is kind of long but we do have, you can always reach out to us at info at agvols.org, and that'll bring you to our outreach coordinator, and then they'll circulate the information whoever needs it. Either you're interested in an internship or a workshop, or you're interested in doing getting a scholarship for some educational opportunities here in Tennessee as far as ag stuff. We can offer all that stuff too. So yeah, it's a really cool program.
That's awesome. I'm really excited
Mhm.
for it.
Mhm.
So, what practical advice would you offer a fellow veteran who's just sort of curious about starting their farm, maybe getting into some agritourism in the future? What kind of resources are currently available for somebody, maybe in Tennessee, but maybe also throughout the country that you see as really helpful tools?
Yeah, there's really so many out there now compared to, say, when I started all this, looking into, veterans to agriculture stuff many years ago. There really wasn't a lot available. And it really wasn't. There was one and twosies thing. We had the Farmer Veteran Coalition had just surfaced. A couple other things, kind of interest started sparking up in the USDA. Now there's so much information out there. It's almost information overload, and so much. And I tell people, hey, if you got even a little bit of skills in AI, it's a great tool for you to go and look for. Just in any AI app, you can put in veterans to agriculture and get all kinds of information that'll show up. Same when it comes to any search engine, Google or any other stuff that you want to use, Yahoo, you can put it in and you can get just a plethora of information, and again, USDA is a good place to start. Of course, here in Tennessee, the Tennessee Department of Agriculture has a beginning farmer resource page for all things beginning farmer. Like I said, the USDA does also. Even in your state, you can look up whatever state you're in. Just put in, if you're in North Carolina, put in North Carolina, veterans agriculture. Anything like that is one of the good places to start, because before getting to anything that you want to do business related, where there's money involved, any type of financial capital, get an education and learn what you want to do first. Learn everything you can about it. I just didn't jump into flowers, right off the get go. It happened by accident, but I spent, a good 6 months to a year studying everything I could about learning about the floriculture business. And that's from small to large scale, and learning everything, whether you want to get into cattle operations, cow calf, freezer beef, if you want to get into row cropping, if you want to get into something as simple as, uh, working with mushrooms, anything of those nature, always go out and get you a good education on it, because the last thing you want to do is throw a lot of money into something. All right. And I'll raise my hand on that because I was one of them, and then learn that hard lesson, when all it took was maybe just about 15, 20 minutes out of your time to learn how to do it properly without, wasting your money and doing it the wrong way, which a good thing is to learn from mistakes. But, some of them can't be prevented if you just, do your homework a little bit and look out, for those resources that are available for you.
For sure. So now to close us out, I've got a trivia question for you. So what's something that you're planting this year? Are you planting any new types of flowers or new things in your gardens that you're really excited about?
This year I did a little bit more studying. The previous year, like I do all my research for, say, for 2025. All my research was done in 2024 for the 2025 season. And I do a lot of market research. I do a lot of cultivar research, and I was just looking for things that I wanted to grow that you don't see in the market. And this kind of goes on how I do my things is I try to find, well, what will grab the customer's eye more than others. What is something that is not grown in my area, and that's kind of what I concentrate on. So this year I kind of put a little bit more concentration in some perennial varieties, that we don't see around here. May not even see them in the florists because they're an older flower that might have went away. People don't know it anymore. I've tried bells of Ireland, a couple of different things that people are starting to want to see a little bit more in their bouquets, and that's the whole fun part of it, is the whole trying to figure out just that right combination of flowers that's going to really grab their eye and bring that extra customer to my market booth. So yeah, that's how I
I
work
love
that.
I love that. I love that. Well, that wraps up today's episode, and thank you so much, Charlie, for joining
Mhm.
us and sharing your experience. And if any of our listeners are looking to take the next step in their agricultural journey, please follow up on the resources Charlie provided. And then we'd also invite people to join us if you're in the Indiana area to the Salute Our Veterans Golf outing on May 9th, hosted by the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs. More information at addiesorchard.org. And then please join us in July. We're really excited about this gathering in Shipshawana, which looks like a beautiful place. It's going to be a conference of veterans from Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and Illinois, but all are welcome. And if you haven't, take a moment to join us at Vets in Farming, vetsinfarming.com, and we'll join you next time. Thanks a lot.